Hello folks, welcome to Computational Statistics and Machine Learning and Machine Learning MScs. These are the two programs of which I am the program director, and I want to give this talk to let you know what is unique about them among all other UCL offerings, and also what is the difference between them. So both of these programs are fairly intensive programs covering both foundational and applied machine learning. And both of these programs contain a research project component that is in many ways, a key feature of them. The main difference between those two is that CSML, Computational Statistics and Machine Learning, is taught jointly with Stats department, and as such it emphasizes study of statistics module more heavily. And we'll see later which impact it has on the structure of the programs. So both of those programs have courses taught by research leaders in the relevant fields. And that includes some courses that are only offered to these MSCs, and that includes courses with the Gatsby unit. And there is also a course taught in connection with researchers from DeepMind. And those two programs offer some of the most challenging modules among our MSc offerings. And we are not shying away from this fact, but we do think this is a strength of the program. In particular, two modules I want to single out here are Advanced Topics in Machine Learning and Approximate Inference, which are very well received by those who take them, but they are hard. Let's have a look at the structure for both programs. You have 8 modules that you have to choose. Out of those 8 modules, some are core and the others are optional. So the core modules are those that you have to take if you take this program, and the others you can select from a reasonably wide list of options. All those modules are taught during term 1 and term 2, and each is worth 15 credits, so you get 120 credits in total. And then there is the other big component of your degree, which is your dissertation, which is worth 60 credits, and you work on it throughout the summer. Let's have a look at the core modules, because this is where there is a difference between CSML and ML. So for CSML, you have to take supervised learning, and you have to take either probabilistic and unsupervised learning or graphical models. So both of those courses, they teach you probabilistic learning, but one of them is offered by Gatsby unit, and so is fairly challenging. And if you find it too challenging, you have an option of selecting graphical models instead. But you have to take one of them. And the same is true for ML, but CSML, in addition, has one more core component, which is statistical models and data analysis. And this is the course which is offered by the Stats department. And alongside this module, you also have access in CSML to other modules offered by the Stats department. So ML does not have access to those modules, but on the other hand, it has one less core component, and so there is a little bit more flexibility when it comes to choosing your optionals, because basically you have 6 slots instead of 5 in ML. And here is a list of some of the optional modules which are available to both of the programs. They include such hot topics as statistical NLP. Obviously, in the last few years, we have all witnessed some of the breakthroughs in the world of language models. So they also include things like applied deep learning, which I believe includes more vision-oriented deep learning, and reinforcement learning, which is the module that I mentioned is taught jointly with, it's taught by researchers from DeepMind. Machine learning seminar is another very interesting module where students are going to read and review the very recent papers from one of the selected hot areas of machine learning, modern machine learning. And yeah, some others. Bayesian deep learning is very popular. fairly recent module that has been running for the last few years. And the already mentioned advanced topics in machine learning, one of the most challenging technically that we have. Let's have a quick chat about the industry connections. As I mentioned, project is the important part of your degree, and about half of the students on those degrees are doing their projects with external industry partners. The way it works is that we have a project day held in January where everyone who is offering a project, be it an academic or an industry partner, proposes their offering, and from then on you have about a couple of months to select your project. And we have a very wide range of industry projects, and they do often lead to hiring opportunities. It's very, very common that a student is doing a project with the company and then is hired by the company they were doing a project with. Similarly, academic projects are often a natural way towards doing a PhD with your potential supervisor. Let's have a very quick glance at how your year is structured. So in terms 1 and 2, you have those taught modules. So typically, we suggest taking 4 modules in each term. However, 5-3 split also sometimes happens and is sometimes successful. There are various assessments throughout those 2 terms. Because there is a very wide range of optional modules available, I'm not going to go through all possible types of assessment, but typically you're going to have a lot of courseworks, which are going to be either individual or group, depending on the module. And some modules might have an in-class tests, and some might be exam only. Wherever the module has an exam, the exam is going to happen in term 3. This is unlike how some other universities are doing this. So even if you have a term 1 module, if that module has an exam, the exam is going to happen after the Easter holidays in term 3. So, you have term 1, then you have a Christmas break, and then you have term 2, and then you have the Easter break, and then you have all your exams in term 3. And then as soon as the exams are over, you're expected to start full-time work on your project. So as we mentioned, the projects are selected throughout January and February up until mid-March, and the work formally begins in June, but it is not uncommon for the strong students to do some background research on their projects earlier than that. But from early June, you're expected to work full-time up until the beginning of September, when you're going to submit your dissertation. And this is the project is the component where for most students this is when everything comes together, like all those skills that you build throughout terms 1 and 2 in all those taught components, you now finally can apply them in a project which is your own, it's individual, and hopefully reflects your own research interests. And this then completes your degree. So I hope that this walkthrough was somewhat helpful, and I hope to see you all in September. Thank you for watching.